I wanted to talk about my three favourite cloth nappies. I've been using cloth nappies now for 3 years. My first little boy for about 9 or 10 months before he potty trained. And then my second I've been using since birth, and he's now just over 2 years old. I've tried so many different brands, loads and loads of different brands, and these are my top three, purely based on the actual fit, the actual cut of the nappies, rather than maybe inserts, etc. that they come with. So yeah, I just thought I'd go through just briefly. So the first one, well actually I'll sort of say what they all are. So the first one is Charlie Banana, one size. Second one is Rumparooz, one size. And the third one is the Applecheeks, and that's the Applecheeks brand. So they do size 1, size 2. They also do one size now as well. But I've got more experience with the size 1 and 2. So yeah, I'll go through my top favourite first. This is Charlie Banana. And this guy, my Charlie Banana stash has been kind of a staple. With my first little boy, I predominantly use Charlie Banana, and I absolutely love these. They are the only nappy out of my stash that have worked from birth to potty training. So yeah, they fit right from day one up until now, basically, which is great. I'll just take the liner out. They sorry, put that there. They've got a fleece inside, which no matter how much you wash it, it stays pretty good. Obviously not as fluffy as when you first get it, but it's always super soft, which I love. And yeah, a lot of the nappies that I'm using now were used on my first boy, and they'll sort of stay around until my third as well. So brilliant value in that respect. The ones that I've got come with the 2 microfiber inserts. They do a natural cloth version as well, but the reason I personally would prefer these is just because of the stay dry that you've got on the inside, and that's why I really like, I suppose, all 3 of them over covers. I do use covers. I've got probably about 5 or 6 different brands in covers that I've tried. But I just prefer having the inbuilt stay dry liner, and in all honesty I wish that pocket nappies, just like the Applecheeks, would be sold separately, so you could just buy the cover and then you could put whatever inserts in you wanted. But anyway, so yeah, they come with those 2. They don't have the snap down rise, so in terms of making them one size, it's a little bit different to most of the nappies out there. They've got just this little kind of bra strap type contraction going on inside, and at the moment my little boy, he's just over 2 and he's on the smallest of the large. There's 3 different large settings and he's on the smallest there, and this I'm pretty sure will last him until he potty trains. It did with my first anyway. He's kind of slimmed down now, so he'll probably stay at this. So yeah, really nice. There's a few cons when you've got a newborn and you've got it on. I think the smallest I ever put it on was the small rather than the extra small. It does bunch up a lot in the front because it doesn't have the fold down. So that's the only thing kind of worth bearing in mind. And I think if I was going to use this on a newborn, I would just lie like a pre-fold or some sort of absorbent layer like on top rather than inside, because otherwise it's kind of bunching away from where it needs to be, if that makes sense. But yeah, other than that, absolute staples. I still use them with the 2 microfiber inserts. I have used them in the past with pre-fold inside. I've used them with an Applecheeks bamboo 2-ply inside. And I've even used them with, I'm just starting to try out muslin flats as well, use them with that inside. But generally I just use these, the things that they come with, the microfiber. The only thing I find with microfiber is, personally, I don't think it's great for little babies. It's good for toddlers, but then on the downside you do have the compression leaks. So we have had sort of a car journey where we were travelling for over 3 hours and we had those 2 in. Normally they would be fine during the day, but I think he'd had quite a lot to drink in the car and it leaked, just purely, I think, from compression as well as the amount of liquid. But yeah, they're great. I don't have any, the fit's brilliant, nice and snug. It's got quite thick elastic, which I really like, so you can get a really good fit. and the back as well, really, really thick elastic and soft as well. So you don't have any problems with poop leaks or anything. Bit fiddly because there are 3 poppers rather than just the 2, but personally I much prefer that because you get a really good leg fit and then you've got the waist fit separately. So yeah, hands down my favourite. I will always have them in my stash and I would buy more if needed. So yeah, the next one, I don't know in terms of which is better than the other. Probably if I had to choose, I'd probably say applecheeks is second. And absolutely love the smaller ones, the size ones. That's what got me into it, and they're in my, I think it's called the Ideal Newborn Stash or something that I did when Felix, my youngest, was little. So yeah, I've got quite a number of these and I absolutely love these. Applecheeks have a few different inserts. I've got the 3-ply insert, bamboo insert, and the 2-ply bamboo insert. Out of the 2, I'd probably say the 2-ply is my favourite just because it's more pliable. The 3-ply is a bit thicker, so, but anyway. Okay, so yeah, so applecheek size 1, brilliant, worked up until maybe it was about 6 months, this is just guess, but 6 or 7 months I think I used it until, and then moved on to the applecheek size 2. However, the difference between the 1 and 2, there was a gap in between where the 2 was a bit too big and the 1 just didn't fit anymore. So there was a period of time where I couldn't really use them. So that's the only thing to bear in mind. But I think that's why they've brought out the 1 size that they've got now. And weirdly, the 1 size is slightly narrower in the crotch area than the size 1, which I find really strange, and it gets slightly smaller than the size 1 as well, but it does fit my toddler now, so it might be a good one to go with. However, I don't like the fact that it's so narrow, because what I really like about applecheeks, weirdly considering it's the opposite with Charlie Banana because I like the trimness, is how wide they are. so yeah, size 1, brilliant, lovely, gorgeous ruffles, which, yeah, just amazing. The only downside with this is when other people tend to put it on, they don't always get the ruffles out. I don't think they necessarily think about doing it. It's just something I always do, always clean up the nappy after I've put it on. So sometimes there's ruffles kind of left inside if someone else is using it. And also if other people are using it, they don't tend to realise that to get a really good fit on applecheeks, you really have to stretch it round and get it as snug as you can, kind of thing. And it doesn't leave any marks. It's brilliant, and that's why I use it as a nighttime nappy, because it's so wide, it can fit quite a lot inside, and because of how the elastic is, it just doesn't leave any marks. It's super, super soft. There's never any kind of red marks when he wakes up in the morning or anything. So yeah, just all together, really, really love this. At the moment, I've only got, I think, 5 or 6 in my stash, so I just use them as nighttime nappies. But I would use them in the day if I had, if I had more. At the moment, I've just got it stuffed with a muslin flat and then just a bamboo insert, and that just does us for nighttime. He doesn't need a huge amount of absorbency. We did used to use 3-ply, which was fine, but he hasn't kind of weed during the night really for about a year, much anyway. He tends to just do maybe his first wee in there if we don't change him quick enough, so that's why it's there. But sometimes it's dry. It's crazy, but he's literally showing no signs of potty training, so I don't know why he's doing that, but anyway. So yeah, that's my kind of second favourite. And then my third favourite is applecheeks. Rumparooz, 1 size. I love these so much. They're kind of the designer nappy from my perspective anyway. They're so soft, they're such good quality. The prints they do are adorable. I really love Tokidoki at the moment, so the new Tokidoki print comes out, I have to get it. They were absolutely fantastic when he was little. I loved these. They get so small. They've got a 4-step rise rather than a 3-step rise. They get so small, but not only that, they just look really neat when you put the nappy on. I don't know what it is, but out of all the nappies, I forgot to mention with Charlie Bananas, actually, there's a period of time. They fit from birth to potty, but you have that brushiness when they're little, but you also have a period between when they first stop crawling and start walking, where kind of sometimes the wing can dip out a little, which literally doesn't affect anything, the absorbency or anything like that. It just looks a bit crooked. Now they lie flat, now he's a bit older. But anyway, it was just to kind of mention that. But yeah, these kind of, when they fit perfectly. They were brilliant for the first, maybe, I think it was about 9 months. And then all of a sudden, maybe when he got to around a year, they just didn't fit him. He got too chubby, and he needed a taller rise. And the rise on these is quite short. So if anyone from Rumparooz is watching, you just need an extra like ½ inch or an inch, and they would literally fit from birth to potty, I think. So it's just a tiny bit taller they need to be. But anyway, they're back to fitting. So there's a period of about maybe 6 months in the middle where I just couldn't get them to fit. So we put them away and then just kept trying them until they fit again. They fit now perfectly. He's 2, he's running around, he's a lot slimmer, and they look fantastic. They're back to being kind of one of my favourites as well. So yeah, so you've got the stay dry. I don't personally like the inserts that much. I think they come with 2 microfiber inserts, which are here. So you've got that one, and then you've got an hourglass one. You can pop it on. You can make this shorter and play around with it, and they're microfiber. They're quite wide. I mean, they're wide because they fit the nappy, but I personally think they're a little bit too wide, and I prefer using something. I mean, the pre-fold that I've got in actually is one of the wider ones, but I prefer something a little bit narrower in this, just the same as the applecheeks. I like the wideness of it, but then I also like to have space on either side, and it just stops when babies sort of crouch, and then sometimes you get this gap in between the leg and there. Well, if the insert's a bit narrower, it tends to this elastic holds around the leg. Anyway, I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I find. So yeah, just got a pre-fold in them at the moment. Again, tried all various inserts. So the top 3 is more based on the shape and the cut, rather than necessarily the full package. But yeah, I absolutely love these as well. So those are my top 3. I'm having a play around with various different inserts, and I'll probably do kind of a separate review on my favourite inserts as well. Okay, cheers, bye.